Cornerstone and not our stuff. So,
And not the hardware itself.
not the hardware, yes.
Yeah.
So maybe the cameras aren't gonna be as bad as we thought they were gonna be, and the servers is all gonna be at Cornerstone, so we'll have to go back to Cornerstone and try to get the money back from them. But on the flip side of that, because it all booted off and then booted back on, during that split second or the few minutes it took to get the cameras back up, the monitors back up, we had no intercom, we had no door. We couldn't pop doors, we couldn't pop intercoms. So, that makes us fail that part of the inspection,
That's nice.
so.
And Lisa did send me an email and ask me for all the invoices from Cornerstone, so I'll get her
Yeah.
that, so she can look at those.
Good news and bad
That was
news.
good news and bad news.
Okay.
Seems bad. Anytime you have them saying it doesn't pass, it's bad.
Well, I don't know if it's gonna be just a technical pass or what exactly. We'll have a meeting later on today with Joe Commission when they do their wrap up the review, so.
Is that an impromptu inspection, not scheduled one?
No, they never schedule them. They just show up when they show up.
All right. Any, well, you said that kind of,
Yeah,
in the middle of.
Kinda took care of the rest of the report, so I couldn't tell you anything else.
Okay. Any other questions, comments? Okay. Gee, thank you.
Okay.
If you want to stay up there, you can.
Oh, I can tell you the salary, the overtime right now, we're in the black, so we're good.
All right, item number 3, receive status report on salaries and overtime. I believe Corey sent that out yesterday. Yep, at 1:32 PM. You should all have that in your inbox if you haven't already seen it. Corey, did you want to talk at all about the changes made to the report? I mean, you talked about it in your email, but,
Not necessarily, but,
okay.
So he loves to talk.
and, mainly, the biggest changes that are a little bit different is that we separated out some of the salary information that used to all roll in one salary line in the past. The certificate pay and step pays and stuff such as that gives them their total salary. So it's a little bit split out, so you have to, kind of have to add them all together to get what the total salaries are. And on that page 3, the payroll master there, on the far left column where it has all those multiple salaries there below, I'll have to do some updating to get it to what it gives a better explanation. But that first salary is gonna be your certificate pay, and then the next salary is gonna be your step pay. And then the third salary is their regular base salary. And then the next one down is gonna be the juvenile supplement that kicked back in like September, I believe. And then the next one down is gonna be the, which one is that one? I gotta remember. One of them is the SB 22 stuff that went into effect. And the other one is probably, it's both
Is it
of them.
ARPA?
No, it's not an ARPA, because ARPA's down on its own.
Okay.
The salary supplement will be the SB 22 one? Is that right?
No, the salary supplement, that's one that's already been there. That's a different salary supplement from, it's not an actual based on hourlies. So the SB 22 and the cert pay and the step pay and the juvenile stuff, that's actually based on an hourly and not an actual supplement. So it's separated out, so they'll have like 4 different hourly rates, but combined it would give them what their actual salary or hourly rate is.
Okay.
Because for, like the SB 22 doesn't cover the overtime costs.
Right.
So it rolls into, the county pays the overtime cost, that hourly rate rolls into their regular overtime rate for the county to pay for it, but the SB 22 is separated out as a different rate.
Simple.
It's, yeah.
Extremely simple, yeah, it was super easy payroll. I had it done in an hour or two, so yeah, it was pretty easy this week.
And split between two
And
fiscal
yes,
years.
and we split it between the two.
Which will bring me to a further request later on, that when we do next year's budget, that we would do the pay raises effective the first pay period of the year instead of the first of the year. And
Be
that
much
will,
better.
yes.
What we did in the past isn't it the first full pay period?
Right, you actually have to request and the court has to deem it to
Okay.
be first pay period, and otherwise it goes into effect the first day of the fiscal year, and that's, we've been splitting it back for several years, but with all of these different pay types, it's a pain, and the employees then can't track it, they can't,
Right.
yeah, it's just difficult for
It's
everyone.
pretty hard to track it when
I-
it's just a normal day.
Right. So. Corey did an amazing job getting this all done and still paying it. So we're,
Corey, on this sheet, there's not a gross pay per employee, it's just a net pay,
Which sheet are we looking at?
any of them in this report?
No, there's not gonna be anything in there that's gonna tell you the gross pay for any employees. If we're looking at, let me get that thing out the way here. And I'm not really sure if you need this, I know it was a request at one point in time, but where you start down there on page 7, that is actually just the deposit amount for the employee going into the bank. That's their
Right.
net pay. Can be pretty misleading, because some employees may have 3 direct deposits. So I'm not really sure if that information provides you with good detail or information that you really need, or if y'all want to maintain that in there or not.
I mean, I don't really see the benefit of it if it's not a,
I mean, it's not gonna tell you what their gross pay is. It's
no,
not gonna
it
tell you what
doesn't
kind of-
really help you.
How it gets to that number, because you don't know what anybody has elected for their benefits or deductions or any other kind of stuff that goes in and out of there, so it's kind of, it's up to y'all, obviously, but it's not really relevant information.
Yeah, I don't see a value add there.
But if, whatever, if y'all wanna do it. When we get down to page 19, where we have the overtime summary, it is split out between the 2 different
Right.
dates there. It total up, just gives you your totals for the actual pay period, and the same thing on, beginning on 20, there's 2 different sections there. There's a 1231 and a 14. And then on page 30, that was one that came in new to that last time, and we didn't really get around to discussing that, I think. I don't remember what, because we did, our regular Friday session was an actual court and not a overview type of deal, but that's where we get into our travel reimbursements and expense reimbursements and such, so, just pointing that one out so y'all be aware that it is in there and should be going in there and going forward.
And it's got the same issue where it cut off the.
Yeah, I see that right at the moment. It's basically all it's really cutting off at the moment is just,
Couple of letters of name.
yeah, the part of their last name. But that's solvable and fixable. Sometimes when I print these things to PDF, it reverts back, so I have to go back and make some adjustments to it, so. And on the very end, on that, the sheriff overtime stuff, like I said, we can eventually sit down and discuss if this is what y'all really want, or if there's another way to view this that's more actual or live, or compared to this. Right now, it's probably pretty close, because it's the first pay period of the year. There's been nobody that's terminated or additional ads or whatever. But on the left, towards the left of each column, I left in the last 3 pay periods of 23, just for your review, because we started over the new year, so you'll have a look back. But the first 2 columns of this year, you would have to add them together to get the total for what actually happened for the full pay period.
Why do so many have no holiday pay or very little holiday hours? We got a bunch at .25, .50.
Yeah, that's just,
Why?
just kind of, I mean, I can't speak for everybody or
Some of
every
these are
department.
office
but
workers.
Yeah, some of them are
I
office
understand
workers and
in
whether or
jail,
not,
but
they got hung out at 5 o'clock and didn't get to clock out at 5 o'clock and ended up clocking out at 5:15. That,
These are over and above. These are
Yes.
additional holiday.
yes, oh, okay, I'm misunderstanding. So this is not the actual 8 holiday hours. This is what they get paid above and beyond 40 hours.
Right. So if they schedule to work on a holiday, then these are,
well, I've got two that I'm aware of right here that I know report to me directly. They weren't scheduled to work any holidays. They didn't.
And once again, it's not necessarily whether they were scheduled to work the holiday. You have to look at the whole week, which includes the holiday. So if an
They just worked a
employee,
regular week. I don't understand why they would be,
if they stayed one day till 5:15, that would cause them to go over 40 hours for the week. It's more, could be time management. I mean, that's not an area that we have control over. That's a departmental or a official order for that specific department.
yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look at their time clock. Is it-
And if you want to sit down with me, we can go over that time clock stuff together.
So I don't understand how it's over and above, and most people are showing 16 hours holiday pay.
Correct. Those are the ones that actually worked 40 full hours. That the week that there was the 2 holidays, they worked 40 hours and had 16 holiday hours, so their total hours for that week was actually 56 hours. So the 16 hours shows as additional pay. This is only additional pay here. This is not the actual holiday, this is just the
So
additional.
they got paid 56-hour total,
Correct.
straight up.
yes.
And somebody with
That's not
.25
really-
got paid 40.25.
That's not holiday pay hours, that's something different.
So like on
That's,
the,
oh,
the two VSO, they
It's
actually,
straight time.
I think those were actual overtime, a little bit of overtime weeks, and so for this one, it's showing up in the holiday hours.
Because if you don't work 40 hours, there's no overtime. Holiday hours don't incur overtime.
And it's gonna pull those in on both the up to 12/31 and the 1/1 to 1/4, because it's for the whole pay period, even though you've just broken that out for us, so you can see each fiscal year. Okay.
Yes. Yeah, it's gonna pull it in for both of them because both weeks had a holiday, or both years had holidays in them, so.
Okay. Any other questions? We still looking?
good.
Okay. Corey, thank you.
Bet.
All right, let's move on to item number 4, which is review and discuss regular bills.
Cheryl, on precinct 2 bills, is one of those my gas bill? Or not? No gas bill this month, or no gas bill on this deal. I'm just,
Don't see one on this.
cause that last month we had like $1,000. I just wondered if we had one since then. Cause we have repaired some leaks.
I don't believe we've seen that bill yet, cause it's not in yet.
This would be a lot less stressful if Margaret would quit sending that long list of bills over here for us to look at, although I noticed she delegated that to the auditor this last time. Thank you, Margaret.
She just wants me to make sure I don't forget how to do it.
Right.
She keeps sending this list of bills over here that need to be paid.
I'm
My
sorry.
goodness.
Y'all keep spending money,
Yeah, we do.
You're like, woohoo, we got a new budget year.
right?
Yeah.
I know usually everybody buys stuff at the end of the year. This year, at the beginning of the year, everybody went, money, let's go.
You know, that's one thing that's been talked about a lot of times, I think, in governmental agencies, that they have this tendency to go to the end of a budget cycle, whether it be a year or whatever, and spend a bunch of money, and I don't see that here. I mean, we've got a budget, and then our folks do a pretty good job of managing that through the year.
Usually there's still a bunch that
There-
they do at the
yeah,
end
there's
of
gonna
the
be
year,
some, but
you know,
not
stuff that
the
they were
vast amount that
saving
we-
for.
Yeah, we.
And they're like,
we
oh,
hear
we do
about.
have the money left, and so they'll spend
It's an interesting idea though, Commissioner, of, when we do budget departmental meetings in the spring and summer, maybe take a look at what December
Yeah.
numbers are.
Yeah.
There you go.
Usually there is
Really.
more spending in December than there was this last year. It was like,
It was weird.
it
this
was
year.
very weird.
But I don't see I mean, we've heard these horror stories
Yes.
about how this department has said, we've gotta spend money, so we buy, something.
Bunch
that-
of-
Yeah.
Anything that they're really spending at the end of the year really is stuff that they do need, that they've
Yeah.
either been saving up for, or
That's
it might be a
exactly
little
right.
bit extravagant that they weren't sure if they'd have enough money for, like a more expensive
Yeah.
chair, but it's still something they do
Well,
need.
I don't see it being abused.
Right.
I think
It's not-
I
it's
mean,
not
that's
like-
good, that's a good thing.
You know, it's just a higher quality of something they need usually versus something just off the wall.
Commissioner Finnegan,
Yes.
I think it's been a couple of months since that $1,000 one, so last month's was $506, and we just got the current one at $648.
Still $600. And that covers
been
just
covered.
my,
That's just you, yeah.
not the tag office too?
Um,
Well, it covers 3 different buildings, but that's still a lot.
this one is for 102 West College.
Okay. And we had an Atmos out there also checking.
But it has been colder. I mean, my personal gas bill.
Just wait till the next
I don't know what it
Yeah, wait till
is.
the
I
next
don't guess.
How's that comparing to last year? Is there any way to pull that? Or is it too difficult? I just like to see kind of
No,
what
it's not
the
too
usage
difficult. Can I
is.
email it to you here in just a bit?
Yeah, no hurry,
Okay.
whenever.
Send my gas bill over to precinct 2.
Look it up.
Would be a good way to do that. Mickey will take care of that.
He sounds like he wants to.
Which, that statement reminds me of a conversation that we have at my house every once in a while when bills show up that one or both of my sons have, and they tell their mother, oh, Dad always takes care of that. So, oh, okay.
The money for the sale of equipment that goes into precinct 2,
Yes.
unless I had that budget, it can't just be spent on equipment in
No.
2024.
No, it goes into fund balance unless we certify the revenue and add to your budget, so.
I think I'd put enough in there to cover the
Right,
expenditures.
it's, I think since we're so early in the budget year, I mean, we can go ahead and certify it, but my suggestion would be let's wait and see how the year goes and certify it if necessary.
Yeah, that's fine.
Margaret,
Yes, sir.
on the jury pay, is it gonna show up everything that we pay out, or is it gonna show up what we pay out minus state reimbursement
No, it's gonna show everything
gonna show
we pay out.
Right, the reimbursement
Yeah.
comes into
later?
later because we file it quarterly and then they send a check, so,
Okay.
it'll be mid-February before we get the payment for the last quarter of the year.
This is a picture of checks that go out.
Yep,
Yes, and it's considerably less amount of people since we've got the new software.
Right.
I think our little text messaging and everything's really working. 'cause
Well, and
it's-
I had, that sort of the reason I asked, cause I just look at this every week and it seems small.
It's like 50 people, used to be 200 people.
Yeah.
It used to be.
What,
Yes.
what do you think the percentage of reimbursement is overall?
Well, so the state, there's a requirement. If the funds are available, that's the caveat. If funds are available, they'll reimburse us, what is it? So we pay $20 for the first day, so they're gonna reimburse us 14 for the first day, and then they reimburse us, what's the second day?
52.
52, so they'll reimburse us 46 for day two, so
58, 52.
58 and 52.
So it didn't change any of what we paid. We're still paying the same
No,
thing
we're
we did
not.
last year. Huh?
We are sending it out, but they've increased their reimbursement rate, so we're not really out any more in the
Yeah.
net effect.
Right.
But it used to be $6 for the first day, now it's $20, but they increased what they give, so.
To make that whole.
Is that one of those funds that run out pretty early in the year and then they're?
No, we budget enough to cover
I'm
that.
talking about the state's
Oh,
portion.
I have not ever seen that run out at the state,
Yeah.
but the statute does say if funds are available,
Yeah.
but
But there are some of those state funds that
Yeah.
you get past the first quarter,
yeah,
they get pretty thin.
I have never seen this one run out.
That's
Knock on
good.
wood, let's hope that I didn't just
But the-
jinx it,
The
but
amounts changed drastically on their end, because before they were only reimbursing $34, and now they're reimbursing up to
Yeah.
$60
Wow.
or $64, so.
they
Had to whittle
budgeted
on
that
it.
in their budget, so.
You know, the good news is I feel like every time we have a jury call now, we're making a nice payment on our rehab space up there. When you stop and think of it, that's
But now we
quite a
don't have
benefit.
200 people showing up to pay day one rates
Right.
too. So now her new software is overall, I think, going to save us time, effort, and money.
I bet Fridays are riveting television for those watching at home.
I'd never thought of it that way.
Some Jeopardy
Quick, somebody bring
music.
a body bag.
Jeopardy music while we're all.
No,
Bring a body back.
no.
Margaret.
Mickey could tell us a humorous story here.
There's nothing this morning.
Y'all let me know anywhere.
Ready, giddy with anticipation for the cold.
Yep.
Just
You
don't
and
see-
Giddy don't go together.
Yeah.
You and Giddy don't go together.
Y'all know
No,
him that
you
well.
don't know me that well.
Yeah.
You're
I'm
supposed
quite
to
the
say, don't
chipper,
act like you know me, that's what you're supposed
quite the
to say.
chipper person.
Margaret, this, Verizon bill here in the general,
Yes, sir,
is that just for hotspots?
yes, sir,
Yes.
So 1,400 a month?
yes, sir.
And we've not converted completely to AT&T
No,
hot?
I've not converted completely to AT&T because we have not cleaned up the debacle from the first switching over, and I would
Okay.
like that to be clean before I add things to it.
Gotcha.
And by debacle, she meant challenges.
Yeah.
That was not a derogatory word.
That was not,
One thing about Mickey, not only is he chipper, he never has a strong opinion about it.
No.
No.
It's just a gruff exterior. I'm really quite.
That's it. Big old teddy bear.
that's what I was gonna say, he's just a big old teddy bear.
Big old teddy bear.
Well, and the Verizon one's not gonna go away completely because of the mobile units too, correct?
Well, they wanna switch to AT&T as well, however, there are 4 iPads, 2 in adult probation and 2 in juvenile that they want to keep through Verizon. And CSCD has opted several months ago to switch their cell phone service to Verizon, so that will stay there.
Okay. So it won't ever go away completely. Well, ever's a long time
Right.
in the foreseeable future.
And that was who switched to Verizon?
Adult probation,
And we pay that bill?
through their grant, yes.
Yeah, so we pay it through the grant, but the state gives us
We
money.
don't pay it out of their general fund money, we pay it through their grant.
Right.
Okay.
Any other, I don't wanna rush anybody, so tell me if y'all have
No,
any other
I'm
questions or,
We can spend another 30 minutes looking at it.
okay. All right, it is 10:34.